So let me ask you a question. What
Sure.
would be the purpose of enacting tariffs on a country like Canada?
On Canada, well, you want to protect certain industries, and Canada also has a lot of tariffs on the United States, and to get them to have a trade agreement with the United States on that. I don't think it's.
Didn't we have free trade?
I don't
with
think
Canada?
it's a. I don't know. I don't think.
What was the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement?
Yeah, that wasn't in effect when Donald Trump took office.
Who negotiated the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement?
Look, I don't think
negotiated
it is not
that?
a good thing.
Who negotiated
It's not a good.
Do you know
thing
what it
when
is?
Other it is not a.
Do you
good
know what it
thing
is?
when
You
other
don't know what it
countries
is, do
are
you?
Yes, I do.
What is it? Explain it.
Yeah, it was a trade agreement between the United States that overturned the previous NAFTA agreement.
And so what did it do?
It established the parameters for.
So who negotiated it?
It was Donald Trump.
So Donald Trump negotiated the USMCA.
Yeah, we need to
the free trade agreement that was governing over the
again,
United
it wasn't
States.
free trade. We need to renegotiate these trade agreements.
What
of
does
course.
NAFTA stand for?
North American Free Trade Agreement. That's what
So
was
that
before
sounds
Donald Trump.
like free trade.
Yeah, again, that was before. That wasn't in effect when Donald Trump
and
took
so
over
then
in
yes,
2025.
it was. And so, well, first of all, the USMCA was effectively the same thing as NAFTA.
No, it wasn't.
And so what changed?
I mean, the trade parameters changed, but like I said, I don't think it's a good thing.
Name one.
What do you mean?
What
name one?
changed?
I mean, for starters, lumber. The way that we trade lumber with Canada changed.
How?
I don't know the actual intricacies of the USMCA, but what I will say is I don't think it's a good thing.
So we have free trade with Canada.
I don't think it's a good thing when countries
So
like
why
the
did you
EU
go and put tariffs on a country that we had free trade with? What gets better than free?
Well, I guess with Canada, there's also the.
I mean, I didn't know that.
There's also
that
the
there
added
was
part.
something better
There's
than
also
free,
the,
right?
There's also the added part with Canada that they were spraying propaganda into the United States, which isn't a good thing. That we have an ally spreading propaganda into the United States.
That has nothing to do with what.
Yes, it is.
I'm just asking you.
Tariffs are a means
Why did you
of having
put tariffs
negotiating
on a
power over
country
other
that we
countries.
had free trade with? It was free.
Yeah, because they're pumping propaganda into the United States.
They were pumping propaganda into the United
Yes.
States. How?
What do you mean how?
How?
It's like during the World Series, Canada propaganda to the United States. Of course, we're going to put tariffs on them for that. We
They
shouldn't
showed
have.
a commercial of Ronald Reagan in his own words.
Yeah,
so
we
that
shouldn't-
means
we shouldn't
that
have other countries
So
that
wait
are
a second.
allies
so
come
wait.
in and
So wait a
countersignaling
second.
the president
So
of the
wait a
United
second.
States.
So you just made Americans pay more for everything that comes from Canada because they showed a commercial you didn't like. That sounds like being a snowflake, if you ask me.
We should be holding our allies accountable.
Why are
when they
conservatives so
countersignal the United States
sensitive?
of America.
This is what happens when you have conservative government. They're so sensitive. They're over here raising your prices because they had a commercial that you don't like.
Tariffs don't raise prices. There was just a study
What?
from, I believe, Use Chicago that came out that tariffs actually don't raise the prices
Why
of goods.
would you go put tariffs on a country we had free FREE
Yeah.
trade with?
I think that we have a strategic advantage of having our lumber industry here in the United States. I don't want to be reliant upon
What did these
Canada for our
tariffs
lumber.
do to go and achieve that aim?
Yeah, it makes it more expensive for imports to come to the United States so that businesses can
So
relocate
now-
back to America.
So now, if your disagreement was tariffs on lumber, your answer now is for tariffs on everything.
Again, yeah, you want to establish leverage for future trade agreements. That's how trade agreements work. That's how negotiations work.
And the leverage is to go and charge for something you are getting largely for free.
Again, because you want to have
Free.
a strategic advantage of making it in the United States,
Free.
obviously.
Free, and you've
Okay,
heard,
you
and you've
can-
heard,
okay, you can
and
keep
you
spamming
and you've
free.
and you've heard, and you've heard American businesses that does stuff with Canada as a result of that. The amount of trade that we've had for American companies that do business with Canada has decreased as a result of these policies. And now what's also happening is that Canada is now going all around the world to go look for other partners. It's why, for example, they're meeting with India, why they're meeting with the European Union. And when they go find these new partners, they're not going to want to go buy as much from the United States. So you know what these policies did because you guys were offended about a commercial? You sent our trade partners all the way around the world. You raised our prices as a result, and you screwed
Again,
over
that's
American
all it's
businesses.
about.
And
Other
that's not
other
something that's
countries-
good for the American people.
You want to talk about